Hello, y'all on YouTube. This is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special unboxing, something that came in from Quiet Carry. Let's take a look at this. This is something I've been pretty excited to check out. You know, I get to check out sometimes some of these Quiet Carry knives that I very much enjoy. I'm a huge fan of, and a lot of you guys like to see. So I appreciate you guys enjoying the videos because, you know, it allows me to get a chance to check some of these out a little sooner. Thanks to you guys who enjoy the videos and obviously enjoy the knife because you guys buy the knife. So that always helps out the channel, so I'm always appreciative of that. So let's see what we have here today. Ooh, look at this. We got some stickers. I always love stickers. Got a nice Quiet Carry cloth. Got a Vanax Super Clean. Some of these things, if I don't have the sticker, these will be part of awesome giveaways. You know, I like to put Quiet Carry stuff into the giveaways. That'll be awesome. So we'll save that. Very nice stickers. Let's see what we got in here. Wonder what this could possibly be. You tell me. All right. Little piece of paper there. All right, so Quiet Carry, the traditional box that you get there. Sorry, I have a little glue in my hand here from, I was fixing some shoes for my wife earlier. So if you saw some glue on my hands, that's what that was, shoe glue. Anyways, all right, does it say what's on here? It just says Quiet Carry, but there's a picture. And that looks somewhat similar to what this is, but it's not. But it's similar, right? So let's take a look. Let's see what this is. Oh my goodness, what we have here. This is all titanium. Look at that. Vanax Super Clean, frame lock. What do we have here? Titanium outside scales. A nice, beautiful, look at stone washed, full back spacer, nice clip. Some similarities that we see here between the two knives, right? One, however, this one is in CPM 20 CV. Their newer ones were in Magna Cut, a little thinner blade, so very similar in blade shape. Look at that. But this has the hole, so let's take a look at this. Ooh, look at that. Oh, hollow grind. Now this one here is a beautiful, full, almost flat grind. Gorgeous blade, beautiful slicer, but this is a nice, look at that, hollow grind. Now they came out with a version of this that had the step milled blade shape. Is beautiful, nice rounded on top, nice jimping, extended all the way out. You can choke up really nicely. So I have large hands with large fingers, or meaty fingers. So extra large hands with normal size fingers, double extra large hands with thinner fingers. You're going to be about here. So that means extra large, double extra large hands would have a good grip on here. You have some similarities in the cutaway right here. Some very similarities in that, but what's different is this is, like I said, this one was in, mine is in CPM 20 CV because it was the first one that came out, but the newer ones are Magna Cut. This one's running on caged bearings, right? So caged bearings. The difference on this one is on phosphor bronze washers. Now it's not quite broken in yet, but very similar to like my drift, right? So here's the drift LC. The LC here has caged bearings. And beautiful action, fun flicker, wonderful knife to reverse flick. This one is phosphor bronze washers, Vanax Super Clean as opposed to LC 200N. So still very, very good water resistant, but this is Vanax Super Clean, which is even better than LC 200N. But phosphor bronze washers, where this one is caged ceramic bearings. So this gives you a different action, right? So it's very fidgety, but it's very nice. So if you like those caged bearings, it's a G10 scale texture, titanium back right here. So that's really nice. So in that regard, you may enjoy that, but I like this one as well. This is one of my favorite knives right here, the Drift L. And then recently I had a chance to check out this, the Waypoint, and this is a hollow grind as well. And I did get a chance to check out the Waypoint. This is a Waypoint L, and there's a Waypoint LC. One of my subscribers allowed me to check out their step milled version with the G10. Really beautiful action as well. This is another fun knife. So what we're dealing with a phosphor bronze washers in here, and that is in a smaller package, right? So it's about, yeah, it's a tad bit shorter, but no thumb studs. It's got the thumb hole or fuller hole, whatever you want to call that, right? And it does have the caged, it has the phosphor bronze washers as opposed to the caged ceramic bearings that you have on here, which is nice. I mean, so if you're in a really salt environment and you need that, and with the Vanax Super Clean, this is going to be really nice. Now I like this sandblasted, but it's kind of a polished sandblasted, is it? Kind of a cool kind of a cool polished. I mean, it's not your typical. Here, let's put these knives out of the way. I just wanted to kind of show you a comparison of what we're dealing with here and kind of the theme. You know, the Vanax Super Clean, this would be along the same line, and I'm sure you can get one with the milling on here, right? And I just, you know, full disclosure, Quiet Carry did allow me to check this knife out, so thank you to Quiet Carry. I appreciate them very much. So, you know, but I want you to know that I, at the risk of ever getting a chance to check another one out, I would be absolutely honest with you if I didn't like it. The issue is that I've liked everything Quiet Carry's come out with. There's been one knife that I didn't care for, and even then I bought it later on, and then I did a little modification on it, and I love it. All it needed was a slight mod, and to this day, I still think that knife, if they were to re-release it with that slight mod, I think that knife would do really, really well. Just my 2 cents. Just, it was a small little aesthetic, little ergonomic thing that really can make a difference with a knife, especially when you're dealing with that type of ergonomics, right? So, but I love this knife. Love this one too. This is the, if you didn't know what this is the Rincon or Rincon. I guess I'm going to. It's actually Rincon, R-I-N-C-O-N, Rincon. Sorry about that. But that is the knife. Beautiful little action there. I like that a lot. Okay, so phosphor bronze, what I'll typically do with something like this. Now this has the milled clip, which is really cool. I like that. So what you're doing is you're kind of keeping some of this beautiful aesthetic over here that I do enjoy with that nice clip, so you don't have to necessarily do the wire clip. So over here I have a wire clip and wire clip. Now I got to tell you, Quiet Carry does the best wire clip out there as far as I'm concerned. Honest to God. If I was to have a wire clip, which I'm not a huge fan of, but their wire clips, LC200N, really solid. They don't move all around. Now it's going to move some, but this movement here is very minimal compared to any other one. I could just move it all over the place. Very solid clip, works really well. Beautiful kind of little lip there. If you're going to do a wire clip, this is how you need to do it, right here like this. And this one had the same one, but I went ahead and tried a Rips Garage Technology, one of their Spyderco clips. I was able to get that in. I had to do a little milling on the points where it fit in, and I had to make sure the screw was a little bit smaller to fit in there. But on the Drift L, to me, this was just really nice. It just, I don't know, the clip worked really nice. On this one, I don't know if I really want a clip on that one. I like the wire clip on this one. This is more of a gentleman carry kind of thing. It's a thinner knife. It's got a beautiful long hollow grind. So to me, this is a different type of carry, right? Likewise, the Rincon right here is just a beautiful different kind of carry too. Now this is a little different aesthetic here. There's no milling on here, which I typically have. So but I like this. I had another, I think my very first Drift. I had the Drift, not the Drift L, but the very first Drift, which had the forward finger choil where you could put choke up here. It was a little small for me, and I didn't carry it because it was a little bit small, and it had this kind of a stone. I still enjoyed it. Now, the only reason why here this works really well, because it's got enough texture, it's got enough width in here, it's got enough places where I am not going to lose this knife. And the access here, by the way, the access to the frame lock is really great. Nice cutaway, easy, fully chamfered right there, beautiful access. Look at that over travel stop in there with a nice steel bar insert, fully engaged at like about good 40%, locked in there solidly. Yeah, there's no blade play because it is a phosphor bronze washer, and you know this will break in as you use this more and more. So I'm already feeling that breaking in. It's a brand new knife, so it hasn't even got a chance to break in yet. But that's going to be really nice. I do enjoy. What's nice about, you know, the thumb hole is always that to me it's just easier to slow roll open, both left and right handed, right? I like that. And it works really well. Reverse flick. Let's see here. Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. That works great. Yeah, that's cool. Nice, dead centered. All right. Now, do we have a reverse bonus flick here? Yeah, probably not. It's the flat part right here. It's going to be primarily a thumb one, just like this one's primarily a thumb stud, but this one has enough of a flat grind. I do have a middle finger reverse flick on this, but it's caged bearing, so it's a little different. I don't know. Maybe once I get a little, ooh, nice and sharp. Nice and sharp. So let's look at that edge real quick here. Want to take a look at that? All right, so that edge is nice. Looks even, almost, it's not quite even there, but that's okay. That can be fixed with a little bit of sharpening. A little longer here, a little shorter there. Let's see, is it even on both sides? Yeah, it looks even on both sides. Let's look at the tip. Any rounding? No, might be a little longer on this side. which sometimes will make a knife look at just a slight bit off center if you look at the, where it'll, if a blade's kind of, if it does this little thing, it might look not perfectly evenly centered, but this one looks really solid. It's a smaller knife. Now let's look at this. Let's compare the size. So here's the drift. All right, so it's a little bit bigger, and then you have, then you have the waypoint. So that one's a little bit bigger. And let's compare over here with the quiet carry. This is the 9, and this is the Rancine. So I think the Rancine and the 9 are kind of comparable in some regards. And then over here, I wish I had a Waypoint LC. I don't. That was one that I was loaned. I didn't get one of those for my collection. I do realize the Waypoint LC, it was phosphor bronze washers, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas this is caged bearings, this is caged bearings. So what I'll tell you is that if you like caged bearings, this is really nice. It's got beautiful action. Drop action is gorgeous. I got this tuned so it's nice control drop. It's not guillotine. I like that really controlled drop on a knife, just like this one here as well. I did the same on this one. This is a nice controlled drop. It's not guillotine. So you'll see it's just a real smooth, slow control drop when it closes, which is nice also because it works really well. Reverse flicking as well. I like that. And you do have the middle finger reverse flick here. Well, I can do it on the left. Woo-hoo-hoo. I can do it on the left hand. All right, so here, knife fully shielded, fully within the handle. So you really have thumb studs only. Over here, thumb studs, but you do have a little extra bonus flick here. You have that, but you do have a little extra bonus flick down here as well. Let's see here. I was able to. I don't know if it's because yeah, I could do the middle finger reverse flick on this one. I just have to get my finger on there correctly. I have to get in there. Hold on. Why am I suddenly not? Oh, my finger is all dry. It's dry today, so let's see. There we go. All right, so that's nice too. I like that. I mean, this one makes it very fidgety, right? So you have these two. They're a little bit different between the two cage bearings. The 9, even though this is not called a 9, they call this one the Rancine. I want to make sure that's correct. Hold on one second. All right, I'm completely misspeaking. It is the Rincon. The Rincon or Rincon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it. R-I-N-C-O-N. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking, so I will have had that. I will probably have posted that in an earlier part of the thing and try to correct it. It's R-I-N-C-O-N, the Rincon. So a cool knife. So this is, I would say, compared to these two. So let's put these off to the side. I just wanted that for comparison. And you can see some of the aesthetics differences, right? All right, so I'm back. All right, so again, this is the R-I-N-C-O-N, the Rincon. The Rincon or Rincon. Boy, I really need to figure out how they pronounce that. But maybe I'll look it up in a dictionary too. For the review, hopefully I'll have it correctly, but I really like this. I like this alternative because when you don't have caged ceramic ball bearings, this makes it a little easier to do in the water areas. Now, my understanding, when these are water ocean front kind of type of knives, what they'll do is everything will be LC200N as far as hardware, the steel bar insert, the screws, everything in here as well. This is a titanium frame. You can see a lot of weight relief going on in there in the opposite side of the frame. And here it's got a back spacer that's titanium, the clip that's titanium with a beautiful rounded little clip here with the milled. That is really, really nice. T8's hardware all the way around. So in that regard, it is really, really, really nice. I like that. It's already starting to break in a little bit. I'll tell you, part of me wants to, now typically what I do with a phosphor bronze is I'll take it apart, I will tune it a little bit, and then I will kind of polish the phosphor bronze washers. But let's take a look with that hollow grind. I'm sure this is pretty sharp. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Can we do? Yeah, really nice. Oops. That's really nice. That's really nice. Really, really, really nice. Nice sharp edge there. And that's just a factory edge. That doesn't really prove much except to say that, hey, the factory edge is pretty cool. I like that. But I appreciate a nice factory edge. And, you know, I always like to figure out, where's my strop? Oh, it's right over here. Sorry. Let's figure out, what is the strop? What's the angle? I'm going to guess it's around 18 degrees. Let's see. It may almost be 15, 16 degrees. Wow. Let's do the backside. Okay, I'm thinking we're around 17 degrees, 17 to 15 degrees right here. That's a nice slicey edge for that hollow grind. Ooh, that's crazy sharp. And if I were to do this, yeah, definitely can shave the hair right off. Fantastic, fantastic, wonderful edge. I love that nice hollow grind. Can you see that hollow grind right there? That's gorgeous. And it is starting to drop right in. Look at that. Really nice. Oh, it's got a nice sound to it. It's a different kind of a sound than you do with the G10. I do like that. Okay, so let's see. Where is the clutch? Where do you clear? So you clear about right there. So if I can get the drop to come to about right there, I should be nice and clear. So about right there, right? Yeah. That catches about right there, and I should be clear. All right, so I just need to break it in. Now, normally I would do is put a little oil in there, but I'm going to check the phosphor bronze washers out just to kind of take a look and see what we're looking at. Man, it does feel... Sorry, wrong one. It feels lighter. I don't know if it is, but I just got to wait just for fun. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, so here's the 9, which is the kind of the premium version, I think, of that. So that's 4 ounces, right? And so this one is it at 4? 3.6, yeah, it is lighter. Okay, very cool, very cool. I was not expecting that. I don't normally do these measurements until the review, but I'm just kind of curious because I want to compare the two. So let's look at this. Let's first turn on my caliper. So I remember that the 9 has a 115.5 thousandths of an inch. Let's see what this one is. 107 or 108 thousandths of an inch. So 107. Yeah, so it's definitely a little thinner, not much, just a little bit thinner, which is cool too. And that doesn't even account for the hollow edge that it has right here. That beautiful hollow edge. All right. Vanax Super Clean, in case you're curious. All right, let's do a little zoom in on this knife so you guys can kind of get a close look up at this. You see that beautiful hollow grind? Now this is the nice bead blasted, which is cool because this makes it a really nice smooth cutting edge. It does seem to glide through with a bead blast a little bit better. All right, so let's look at the back side here. You've got that Vanax, very simple kind of aesthetic. Let's look at the top. Goes to a nice thin edge, nice pokey tip. Definitely great for poking into dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, cases of water. All right, so let's look at the handle here. Got the frame lock, the pivot, T8's hardware, the milled clip, which is nice and perfectly, totally hidden clip, which I love these clips. This is also one of my favorite clips, going all the way up to the very top here without exposing this part underneath. Like I have seen Medfords that have those, and your pants can get in there. It does rip the pants a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's not one that I prefer because I tend to rip my pants, right? And so then you have this beautiful, not my pants, my pockets. So then you have this beautiful weight relief going on inside. I love the fact that they do the cutout on the lock bar on the inside here for that tension control, right? And then we're on the back side here. This is a beautiful stone washed finish. I am pretty sure they're going to be offering their texture, their typical texture that they have on their other knives, because their texture is just absolutely simply gorgeous. Even on this one, even if it's something similar to that, I think that would be just simply stunning. Stunning. I mean, they have it over here as well. You can see that. So at some point they will have it, but they do put nice texture in here, which is a perfect access to where the thumb hole is. You can see that. And it's beautiful access to the thumb hole on both sides. Notice that? It's not like it's covered up over here, which is really nice. So I can nice and flick it open. Then you can close right there. Beautiful phosphor bronze. The action is buttery smooth right now. And that's even without oil or anything like that. So, and I love the little 4 dots. That's typical of the quiet carry, right? This is all the show side, so there's no screws. This is the back of the knife and the pivot. And over here, you have the screw that goes in here. There's a screw here, but it doesn't show all the way through here. So it stops inside that back spacer. And there's the back spacer of the knife. You can see that all the way around. Now, there's no lanyard hole, if you will. I mean, you could, I guess, technically make that a lanyard hole, I guess, sort of. I wouldn't. But, there's that. I like this personally. You may be missing the lanyard hole, and I can understand that. I don't think there's a lanyard hole on this one right here. It does have a lanyard hole there. But on this one, there's no lanyard hole. So that could be a bummer if you're a big lanyard hole fan. All right, so that's the up close. Let's zoom back out. Let's get a nice look at the entire knife together. Let's see if we can get the nice shadow. You can see that beautiful hollow grind. I love to show with the shadows, it shows actually the beautifulness of how thin that hollow grind is. You can get the shadow just right. I think that just is simply gorgeous. I like that. And then let's look at the backside here as well. You can see that. I like that. That's just gorgeous. You see that right there? I think it's just simply wonderful. All right, so let's take a good look here on the inside. And I love this right here. You can definitely choke up, which is really nice. You can hold it down here. Nice jimping all the way here. If you choke up, jimping goes all the way out here. Pinch grip. I mean, I think for coal, that would be a nice pinch grip. I'm pretty sure. You know, maybe if you wanted to do a precision cut, you could do that as well. That tip comes to very nice and thin right there. Very nice and thin. How thin is that to the 9? Let me look at that. All right, so this one comes a little thinner, so you got to be careful. Don't try to leverage this; you might break the tip. This tip is a little bit more robust on the 9 for sure. This kind of reminds me more of the tip that you get on the Waypoint L, right? So that would be a little closer to that. Maybe, is it similar? No, even the Drift L has a kind of a more robust tip there at the end, but it's overall a thinner edge. This is a much thinner edge all overall. I'm pretty sure. We were measuring that earlier, just to compare, because I know some of you guys sometimes ask me these questions. This one is pretty thin. I think this is even thinner. Yeah, it's 86.5 thousandths of an inch. So, I mean, it is a much thinner edge, which I like. I like this thin edge. It's an absolute crazy slicer of a knife. If you're cutting things, this is a beautiful knife to cut with. But so is this, especially with the hollow grind. And it's not going to be, this thick part's not going to be destructive in what you're trying to do. There's enough little resistance there. You can get your full finger in there. You can do the meat of your finger. Oops, if I can get in there. Meat of your finger. Likewise, it's easy to open left-handed, I think. Now, I mean, if you got big, gigantic, huge fingers, I mean, this is going to be not a, a hand that's... I'll just say this, the handle on this one is, as you can see, is significantly larger on this one. So this is going to be a smaller knife for sure, right? You are dealing with a smaller knife. Handle-wise, it's pretty close to the 9. So if you like the 9, you're going to be, pretty close as far as overall handle use that you can on the knife. They're very similar. Now, overall on the edge, the blade itself, let's see how close they are. Actually, we can put them down here and do that. Let's see. Yeah, I think you have a little more cutting edge on this. This one's right just past 3 inches. This one's about a 1/4 inch, maybe, about 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch past 3. This is a little wider, taller blade, I would say, for sure. You can definitely see that. It's definitely a taller blade. So, and I guess if you don't mind caged bearings and that kind of action, then that might be your knife to go. But if you're looking for that Vanax super clean, phosphor bronze, you don't want water, salt water, you don't want dust, sand, whatever in there, this is definitely a nice alternative here. It definitely is a little thicker, if you will, on width-wise. You can see that. Let's close this guy and compare the two. Yeah, so it's definitely a little thicker than that. And is it thicker than the Drift? Yeah, it's definitely thicker than the Drift, which is not terrible. So you may want something a little thicker for more control. Sometimes too thin can be an issue. This could be that nice in-between, right? It could be that nice in-between. I would say these 3 knives are kind of comparable as far as I would call the saltwater series, use-wise. You're dealing with 3 knives in 3 different sizes here. And I think that's what we're dealing with here and we're looking at. So let me bring that right to the center here so it's a little more symmetrical. All right, so we're looking at a blade here. This blade itself is about 3 3/4. This one's about 3 1/2 to 3 3/8. This one's about 3 1/8, maybe. I think it's not even that. I'm going to go back to the tip here. Yeah, it's exactly, I think it's right at 3 inches. So this is about 3 3/8, and this is about 3 3/4, maybe 3 5/8. I don't know. You're looking at handles here. If we were to take that, this one is going to have about, 4 inches. This one's going to have up here, if you even do the choke up position, you got about 4 3/4, maybe 4 1/4. And then this one down here, if you go from here, this is about 4 inches exactly. Where this one is a little over 4, you could probably choke up there. I mean, honestly, the handles are the two pretty close. They are pretty close, actually. Yeah, they really are. I mean, yeah. Well, there you go. I guess, you know, that's a matter of what's more important. Thicker, longer, skinnier. What are you looking for? You have options. That's what I'm saying. You have options. And this is just another nice option in, I believe, a quiet carry Vanax super clean type of blade. I'm pretty sure they're going to be, they always traditionally have the different variants of these. So right now, this is what is available. And I would say it's gorgeous. I like it. I don't have the issue that I did with the original. I had a smaller drift and it didn't have the texture. It was hard for me to hold because it was about this size, even with the finger choil, it was about this size. And it was a little thinner and I felt like it wasn't secure in my hand. And with these thinner ones, I like the texture. With this little thickness, and then with this cutout here and this texture here, I don't know. I don't feel like I have the same issue. I don't feel like I've got this to keep me from losing. It's almost like a finger guard, but it keeps it locked in. I don't feel like, even with my finger in here, I don't feel like the knife's going to slip in and out. Where over here it was very thin, and I felt like it could slide with if I didn't have any texture to deal with. And I'm talking about the drift, the original drift. This one really does have some. I don't know. I kind of dig this look. It's a nice change from some of the other ones. It's smooth, which is nice going in and out, but I still have plenty of presentation. But man, nice and sharp, beautiful thin edge. Oh yeah, it's going to be cool. All right, yeah, so I dig it. I dig it. Now, thank you to Quiet Carry for allowing me to check this out. I really do appreciate that. I know you guys enjoy the videos when I get these from these guys, and I try to show you everything. And I tell you, you know, give you my perspective on it, because I am a fan. I won't lie to you. I like Quiet Carry overall. I mean, I've been critical of 1 or 2 of their knives, you know, and to be honest, you know, I'm going to be honest, even at the sake of maybe ticking somebody off, because if nothing else, at least you know I'm honest, right? But every time I've reviewed these, I have liked every stinking one of these guys. I really have. Now, I don't have a Waypoint LC, just because the Waypoint LC was really massive. That was a little bit, bring this down so you can see it. The Waypoint LC was a little massive for me, and I really did have an issue with that. It's one that I don't think I would have kept in my collection. Now, I was worried the Waypoint L would be the same, and so when I got this one, I thought, yeah, you know, I was going to like this. But man, that thinness and everything, this works really well. And the thumb studs right here, it's easy to access. I don't feel like I'm having to stretch my hand out to reach to get to that knife. So this particular knife right here worked really, really nicely. Where the LC was a little more challenging for me. Now, what I say with the LC is that if you got really massively large hands, I think the LC, you'll do well with it, okay? Just like at large hands, I think you'll do really well with that. I think larger hands, you'll do well with all of these. You know, some of the people, I know some of you guys who have larger hands are not fans of the 9 because it's a little small. Some of you are. If you like the 9, you're gonna like the Rincon, and I don't know what it's called. You're gonna like this one a lot. You really are. You're gonna dig this a lot. I think so. I'm digging it already. Oh yeah, I'm really digging this. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just really fun to fidget with. Sorry, I'm realizing how much fun I have with this. Now, does it have a, is there a ramp where the ball goes? No, no ramp, no ramp. That's okay. But you get past there, you're fine. Oh yeah. I just got to get that broken in. Put a little oil on there, and we'll have this nice and broken in like I do with my Drift L here, where I can now drop it. Right, I can do that and drop it. So I like that a lot, and like I can do the same here with the Waypoint L. I can get that and drop it, and it closes really nice on the phosphor bronze washers. Of course, cage bearings is always nice. You get that nice action, and I tuned this so it's a very controlled drop shut. It's not like a guillotine. Likewise with my Drift LC, I like that a lot too. So anyways, we will be tuning this guy, making sure we do that. So that's my thoughts on there. If you want Stay around for part 2. I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to tune the phosphor bronze washers right now as part 2. Otherwise, go ahead and skip to the end. The end is just basically me thanking you for watching the videos and telling you about, memberships and some of the things I offer, and me appreciating you guys, and maybe hopefully you'll like and subscribe and everything, all that good stuff. And, check out the Monday live streams. That's kind of what all that at the end is. But if you want to hang around, let's go ahead and take this apart and tune it a little bit. All right. So here's part 2. For that, you're going to need some tools. Definitely want to get you some decent tools. And you want to get some, a little bit of some oils, and then a pry bar just in case, right? So this should be pretty easy to take apart. T8's hardware. I recommend some good hardware. Here's a T8. All right, so let's just confirm. T8. 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 All right. I recommend stubby first time so you don't strip anything. So I'm going to go in here first with this one. All right, so we're going to take this apart right here. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had somebody walk at the door, and I had to go make sure I answered it. All right, so again, 90 degrees. All right, so here we are. Beautiful milling for weight relief. I mean, it feels thick, but all this weight relief really relieves the weight. This has got a little thickness to it, but all this in here. Here you can see the clip. You've got a screw that holds it on the inside. This screw goes through all the way through here. This is a calf to barrel for that. There's a screw that goes through, and it goes into this back spacer, and you can see this back spacer comes off with these 2 pins, and it doesn't go all the way through. So that's beautiful. I think that's really, really, really stinking neat. I think it's a nice touch on the design here. So let me put that back in. All right. And if I were to tune this, this is where you would tune it. I don't think this needs to be tuned. At this point, I'm not going to tune it because I first want to do the washers. A lot of times there's a little dirt in there, and if you polish them off, that really makes a huge difference. And I put a little oil in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, at this point, so let me get my cloth. I'm going to take this off. And these washers tend to be, they're thinner. They're not thick enough. You can replace them with another phosphor with a caged bearings. They're just not thick enough for that. So that's just kind of a given. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean off the oil that's in here. We dropped a pivot from the knife. And I think this might be a pivot. I'm sure this might come off. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't. I'm going to clean the pivot off here. So I'm getting the oil off of this. Typically on your phosphor bronze washers, there's a side that's very smooth, it's been polished, and the other side is very coarse and has not. And so usually the one that's facing the blade is the one that's the smoother side. And you can sort of see that. You can almost feel it too. Like this side feels smoother, and you can feel, this feels like there's burrs on it. So the one that I'm really more concerned about is the one without the burrs. And it also helps if the burrs are on one side because it's easier to do this with. And then I like to do a little turn. So I'm doing an even. It's interesting. I wonder if it's not level. All right, I think that's good. Let's take a look. They were a little more difficult than normal to polish because it felt like there was stuff building up on them. Interesting. So I do this. You guys, no one really has to do this. I just want you to know. I choose to do this because I like to break in my knife just a little more quickly. I enjoy that specific action that I'm looking for. If you were to take the time, put a little oil in there, and just flick your knife regularly for, let's say a month or a few weeks, you'd probably get there as well. But I like to get there just a little sooner. And I also like to make sure there's no burrs and clean it out. I just always like to clean out my knife. and have that nice clean. My fingers are a little dirty from the polish. Now we're going to reassemble this guy. Okay, so this is the show where, so this is the side where we have the non-showing pivot. It is D-captive barrel, so that means there's a little D shape there, so you can see that. And this is going to go in like this, like that. It'll fit in there. And then we're going to put one of these washers right on here. This is where I do a little bit of oil. Not much, but just a little bit. You know, it's up to you. I just like to have a little drop in there. Okay. And then we'll take the blade and I'll put a little bit of oil on here. Now, did I wipe that off? It doesn't look like I wiped it. Maybe I did, but maybe it's just because it's wearing in. Yeah, no, that's just because it's wearing in. You can see that. All right, so we're going to do that. Put that on there. Then I'll put a little bit of oil on here. And we're going to take this phosphor bronze. We'll put the polished side on there. Okay, so typically I will get the D-captive pivot through here. Now you can see it's this way, so I'm going to put it in this way. Should fit right through. There we go. All right, so then we're going to take this. Everything's nice and clean. I will do a little bit of oil on this side here. This is the NanoWeight 80-point oil. I'm going to put it right here where the detent ball locks in. This is when it's closed. This is where the detent ball sits. And so it's going over that rail right there. I'm going to over that, that track right there. And it's coming over right there. All right, so now we're going to put this on top. There's no captive on this side, is there? Nope, not on this side, so it doesn't matter. Should fit right on. Nice and fit. There we go. All right, and so this one will go through all the way. I believe this is all the way through like that. Yeah. And then this one goes through. But I'm going to put this one on first. You can always put Loctite on after you assemble the knife. I always think that's the best time. Now there's a little stuff on here. It looks like Loctite left from before. So let me get that off. Now these are steel screws, so I reverse thread to hear it click. We're centered. So sometimes you can put your thumb just gently on here. Just kind of make sure the track is worn in. All right. So I'm going to do a little Loctite at this point because I feel good about it, right? At this point, I think I can use this one. I use the stubby if I have to get really good leverage and I don't want to strip it. This one, I feel like we're at a good point here. Just make sure there's no oil on there. I'll wipe this out just to make sure there's no oil in here as well. I think I have just a hair too much. I think we're good. We're good. All right, so if you didn't know what I was doing, is once I tighten it up, I'm looking for blade rock. I want to make sure it's in there. I tighten it as much to stop the blade rock, right? Too much, and that's going to... Now, you might like it more tight. You know, if you want a very smooth, kind of a more resistant, glossy kind of close, then you tighten it more. But once I put the Loctite, I have it enough where there's no blade rock, but I also have enough where I can get that sort of drop action going. See, I'm right at that point. Just needs to break in just a little bit more, but I got to be careful. All right, good, it still stayed. So I don't want to do too much. Now, what do we got going on here? We are not centered. Why are we not centered? Hold on. There we are. Okay. Now we're centered, I think. Hold on. It's the other thing. You got to make sure you're centered. we're centered. And yeah, we still have to close. All right. Yeah, okay. So you want to make sure your blade is centered and you don't have blade rock. And so that's where I forgot to check that, but that's what I was doing. I was getting there eventually. So I check the blade centeredness and I make sure there's no blade rock. At this point, I want to let it sit for, you know, overnight. Make sure it dries. Usually 24 hours, at least 1 hour minimally before you pick it up. But ideally overnight if you can, and even ideally above that, you know, make sure it stays for at least 24 hours. That's what I would probably recommend for the knife. But that is how we take it apart. We polish the phosphor bronze washers. Is that necessary? No, it's not absolutely necessary. No, of course not. It really isn't. It's a matter of what you want in a knife and what you enjoy doing in a knife. So, and for my case, I enjoy doing that. So I'm going to bring this out nice and easy. And I'm going to bring my card out here so we can have it nice and centered for our close of our video. But so you saw what I did. I polished the phosphor bronze. I took it apart. It came apart pretty nicely. The screw, the hardware, as long as you've got good tools, shouldn't be any problem doing any of that. You shouldn't have any issues taking care of your knife like that. And so there's a beautiful, you know, make sure I clean off the handle. I got oil all over my hand. So, but that's really all I did there. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll do a full review on this knife. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I think it's a cool knife. I think there's a lot of positives about it. I think it's a nice alternative if you like this design and you were looking for something without the caged bearings. You want something maybe Vanax super clean, because I know a lot of you guys do. Even in the Magna Cut version of this, you know, still had this and it was glued on and it wasn't all steel and you're afraid that the glue might get dissolved with the salt water. I get all of that, right? I get all of that. And the cage bearings might get, the salt water might get into the cage bearings. Even if you put skiffs in, which I did, I put skiffs in this one. So they're not, you know, they're not crimped over caged bearings with a whole bunch of space. They're phosphor bronze washers with milled radius holes where the balls were popped into and they're sealed in there. So you're not going to get stuff in there. Regardless, some people don't want stuff in there, and I get it. And so if that's your case, you have phosphor bronze washers with the Rincon. I don't know. Again, hopefully I'll have it correct by the time we do the full knife review and everything, and hopefully by my live stream, because I obviously am struggling with the word. But there you go, the Quiet Carry RINCON, the Rincon. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I thank you, Quiet Carry, for allowing me to check it out. I can tell you my personal first impressions are really good. Really, really good. It's not a full review. This is first impressions. Did a little setup, everything. I like it. I like it a lot. It is what I hoped it would be. I was really excited about this, and I'm not disappointed. I'll just tell you that. I wasn't immediately disappointed. That is a really good sign. And just like with these guys, I wasn't disappointed with any of these. This one wasn't one of those surprises. I was like, yeah, this is cool. We'll check it out. And next thing you know, I dig it. It was not one that I went out of my way to get. I got to tell you, but when I got it, I was like, dang, this is really good. This is really good. And I tell you that because that's my honest opinion. Okay. No one pays me to tell you this. Okay. Quiet Carry sometimes is very gracious and allows me to have a knife to check out, but they don't ask or require that I give them any sort of review. They are okay with my honesty. And this is my honest review, and I'm not going to sell out. So just so you know, if I were in a situation where I felt like, you know, I really didn't like it, there's some issues, you wouldn't even see this, okay, honestly. If that felt like that me talking directly to them could fix something so that we could get it addressed before it went forward, right? I mean, you saw my review of the Tactile Knife Maverick. My original unboxing was not very positive. And then I recently did a review because I spoke to Michael and reviewed that knife, and they fixed so many things and it was amazing. And I was happy with the review. Completely changed my mind. But I was okay, you know, doing that. I just let you know from the bottom of my heart, I really like this knife. I'm not influenced to give you a yay or nay on this knife. I dig it. I really do dig it. It's my cup of tea. It's my aesthetic. It's what I enjoy. May not be for you, and I get it. Just like, honestly, the Waypoint LC was not my aesthetic, but the Waypoint L, absolutely my aesthetic. I dig this one. But that doesn't mean the Waypoint LC wasn't a great knife. It was a phenomenal knife. I was really appreciated. I was thinking it was Crazy Roach allowed me to check his out, and that was a phenomenal knife, especially that step mill. That was next level stuff. And I bet you this one with the step milled, the original one that they had, that was next level stuff too. I'm pretty sure. But this is a great knife. This is a great regular offering. I think it's something worth checking out. I think you would enjoy. It's not a review. It's my first impression, but it's good. I'm gonna be honest. All right. So hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? That's also down below. Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who likes the videos, who watches the live stream, who enjoys the content. Man, thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys out there. I sure appreciate you. And if you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video. And to all of my channel members, a big, huge thank you to you guys. I appreciate you. And if you've been on the fence, you thought, hey, I'd like to become a channel member too, don't ever feel obligated to, but if you'd like to, I would be honored and totally appreciative. There's a link down below in the description for 3 different tiers. That's how you become a member. And it's a small way for me to say thank you to all my channel members. I do a once a month members exclusive giveaway. Usually a very nice knife because people have been so kind and generous with the memberships. So, you know, look for that. If you become a member, it is going to be a very a cool thing for me to say thank you. Also, brand new channel members or members who've been members for a while and are still members now but have never asked, or brand new members who were members before and then became members again and are members now but have never asked for a channel member sticker, email me with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a sticker. It's my small way to say thank you and show my appreciation. I would love to do that as well. That's, again, my way to say thank you to all you guys out there. I sure appreciate you. Hey, if you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.